Welcome back to Knits and Bolts Costume Design, and if you're new here, I'm Rebecca. If you are here after visiting us for CoSci 2022, welcome. I am glad you are back. So our adventure this time will be part 2 of restoring Jan. So we have made progress on getting her up and running to make her sewable. So come on, let's see how this turns out. So we're now going to work on this and putting in the new belt. So first, try to do this one-handed, but you feed the belt up over this top and down into the bottom, and get that in there. And then what I'll have to do is, so got enough on both sides here to go over this. Now I'm going to open her up and make sure that they are going in. Can you see that? I don't know, with that being dark down in there. Just feeding the belt. Make sure it's not caught in the chain for the cradle. That's what this bottom piece is that goes underneath your machine is called. So got them going down in the right places for the most part. Now, these are that's down in there, well down towards the bottom, so that I can work on it from there. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the bottom. Now it is dark under here, so lighting is going to be bad. So there is a belt guide here, so the belt will go down in there. Okay, and then here, so the belt goes down in there. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. So it's over there, and it's over here. I'll show you at the top. Right here, the wheel has a groove in it for the belt to ride in. It goes all the way around. Now, the next step for me to do, I will have to do some fiddling, but it is to get the tension on the belt just right so that when the treadle is moved, that it moves the machine together. So on the end, can you guys see that? It's smooth on one end, and then on the other end it has a staple attached. So once I get my tension correct, I will staple it to the this other end. I don't know if you can see that faint mark, but that's where I need to cut this belt to make it work for this machine. Now this is just long enough. I'm just using utility shears to cut this. It's kind of a leather type belt. Okay, so they have to be careful here. Okay, so since I put this on wrong, I just need to turn this 180 degrees and put it back on. Now these little inner tabs that I'm not quite sure if you can see them. They're right here with the end of my fingernails. Okay. And there's a little bit of a bump on them, and that needs to be toward you. And the way that you can tell if you have that washer on the wrong way is when you put the screw back in there, you're not able to move the clutch. So I should be able to put the screw back in here and then be able to, release the clutch. And the reason you would release the clutch is so that you could wind your bobbin. And this little screw should just be hand tight. It shouldn't be overly tight. Now we're going to move over just a little bit, and I'm going to just pull this toward me. And that seems to be working. Now we're going to see if I can move this about a quarter turn or so. Yeah. All right. So that works. So it'll be able to engage when I want to go do a bobbin. So the next step here, what I thought was my problem was my problem. My belt is too loose. So there should be tension here. And when you press the pedal, the treadle, you should, once you get it going, it should drive your needle bars. And my belt is slipping because it's too loose. So I will have to take my belt off and adjust it. The other thing that needs to be done is another oiling. That has to, I oiled it and it's running sort of smooth, but I want to oil her again, and I'm going to make sure that I oil all of the treadle and the pulleys as well, because if you're not oiling all the places, you could have issues. Showing you here how to shorten your belt and make sure that it is going to be tight enough to turn the pulleys. You pull the two pieces together. Now, as I mentioned previously, mine was too long and it's not driving the pulley. So pull them together as tightly as you can. See where they overlap. And then you will cut that off and make a new hole and put your staple through it. So this takes a lot of tension, so I am going to come back when I have this together. So next is that we want to oil the machine. Now Jan has been oiled, but I want to make sure that I'm adding just a little bit of oil at a time, just to make sure I don't over oil, so I have like that greasy film all over thing. So the first place I'm going to oil is down here on the bottom portion. The first is this little place right here. Then this little place right here. And back here. Now up here. Let's see if we can do it this way. Place right here. And hopefully you can see what I'm actually doing down in here. Now I'm way over here where my hand is. It's hard to see. And I'm just going to turn the wheel with my hand. towards me. Okay, so let's move you over, get you a better look. Hopefully you can see. See if I can get this to going with the treadle. She's still very stiff, so I'm going to keep oiling. I have some oiling that I need to do up top, but I'm feeling the stiffness down here in the pedal area. So I'm going to try to get that working, and then we'll go on to the oiling at the top. So this is where I'm getting my oiling diagrams from. Now I will do the underside here in just a moment. Let's talk about the oiling places on the top. So first of all, there's two little points right here on the bobbin. There's also one right here, and one here, one here, one here, here, one here. So there's all these little spots to oil your machine. Now right here at the tip of where my oiling thing is, it's a little wick. Take care of things there. Now I'm going to come back to my diagram, make sure I've got everything on there. So let's open her up and take a look at the inside. Okay. All right, so there's all these little dimples on where to oil your machine. Okay, now, there's a couple of places over here. Okay. There is some places up in there too. So I'm trying to get those. Okay, I'm pretty sure everything oiled. So I'm going to put her back in place. And I'm still think I took a chunk out of the belt again, but I'll have to put the belt back on in place. But I am pretty sure it is still slipping, even with all of the extra that I took out. She sounds awful, but she is going. I'm getting the hang of the treadle. It's been like almost, gosh, 30 years since I used a treadle machine. She does sound squeaky, but I'm